Well,
It
yeah,
was all business.
I'm in the market for large garbage bags and a Cadillac with a big trunk.
That
I'm
still
just saying.
sounds dirty, John.
Also, Joe Pesci. If you need some work, call me. Anyway, I am back from my business, quote unquote business. This is going to be a great show. Like I said, New Soundwave 74 with me this week. Rob Springer, who's going through his massive Transformers collection right now, right before our eyes. Brian Kilby, who is at the helm. XV, our favorite XV, Peter, and Lady Rec, Amy, who does quite a bit of hosting. She is on our newest podcast, Bitmapped 2099, and she also appears on RFC. She may drop in and have a sip of one of our topics later in the show. So let's get right to it. It's a beefy show. The theme of this week is Who Killed the Beat 'em Up, and we'll get to that at the end of the show. That's our big topic for the week. First, this week, Sonic the Hedgehog. He turns 20 years old.
Wow.
Marking, yes, one more piece of evidence that we are old. And it also marks, of course, a big unveiling. It's a secret. Sega says they are planning something big this year. We don't know exactly
Sonic
what it
game.
is, but it's probably a new game. Yes, Rob. And also, it's probably, I'm just saying, probably something called Sonic Generations. Why? Because Sega has registered very recently those two URLs, Sonic Generations and Sonic Dash Generations. And so we can probably guess, based on the fact that this is Sonic's 20th anniversary, and SonicGenerations.com is just too easy. It's probably going to be a new game, maybe an anthology, maybe a completely new game. After years, well, you know what? Chances are yes, because the last 10 years have been terrible Sonic games. Last year's Sonic game was actually not bad. Sonic Colors, primarily because it was just kind of a redo of classic Sonic. It didn't try to be gritty. He didn't have a handgun. He also didn't have pals, friends around. It was just a nice, straight bread and butter Sonic game. Imagine that. It only took him 10 years to go back to that. Okay, next story. Here's a good one. A couple years ago, Roger Ebert got in big trouble when he claimed initially that video games were not art, that they were just incapable of being a piece of art. He got roasted by everybody on Earth, game player or not, for that, primarily because he also said in the same breath he did not play video games.
Yes.
And yet he was, able to deem them not art. He has backtracked. In fact, he has since said, yes, maybe I was a little too quick, and they are probably capable of being art. Probably some of the most interactive art you'll ever find on Earth. Anyway, more proof that people think video game is art. The Smithsonian, yes, the Smithsonian, is going to run an exhibit called The Art of Video Games, and it opens next March in 2012. It'll explore the 40-year evolution of video games as an artistic medium. Hello, Roger. With a focus on striking visuals and the creative use of new technologies. What's cool about this is that they are letting fans vote. And so I'm going to post the URL for our people in the live chat listening to the show live. It is artofvideogames.org. And so you can go there and you can vote on a selection of video games from different eras of video games. And so what the Smithsonian has done is they've kind of broken it into 5 different phases. Of course, the beginning of video games, when it was just, a handful of pixels flying around the screen. The 8-bit era, the 16-bit era, the bit wars, as we call it, the transitional era, which is interesting. That's what I guess they're calling PS1, Dreamcast, that kind of phase in video games, where we transitioned from 16-bit to what we have today, which is the next generation. Or I guess you would say the current generation. They call it the next generation, but anyway, it's today. It's that morphing from 16-bit all the way to the crazy 3D stuff that we've got right now. Get out there and vote. Of course, listen to our show first, but get out there and vote for your favorites. It's an interesting, wide array of selections. Some of the games that are up for nomination: Marble Madness, Earthworm Jim, Okami. A couple of Final Fantasies, a couple of Halos. It's a good selection. Pitfall is in there. E.T. is in there. That's questionable. It may be art.
It has its place in history.
kitsch can be art as well. So
that's true, and it is the king of kitsch. Especially like I guess you could take like an artistic picture of the landfill in Nevada full of ET games, and that would be like its greatest contribution. Anyway,
ET is landscape art.
It is a contribution in the art of Deadline.
Yes, the art of poor time
management.
Get
this thing done by Christmas.
That's right. That's right.
Did anyone see the movie?
Only everybody. Actually, you're right, Rob. Actually, E.T., the story behind E.T. is a great one. In fact, we should probably do that for a future show, like greatest fails in video game history, as far as like, yeah, that's a good one. Because of all the games that should not have been a failure, E.T. I mean, let's take some time with E.T., let's make it right. And they turned that game in a matter of weeks, I think, really, a few months.
Yeah, it was like...
Price.
Let's make a good game. Okay, how much time we have? Not enough time to make a good game. Well, let's make a game. Let's just make a game then, and we'll go with that.
Somewhere our favorite MMO player, JD Church, is crying and weeping, and maybe in the fetal position. Probably in the fetal position. Why? Because DC Online has been hit with layoffs. Layoffs that have apparently affected the development of updates to the game.
Wow.
So this week, the producer of DC Online published an open letter to fans, i.e. JD, and in it he discussed the immediate and long-term future of the game itself, and he confirmed that the team for DC Online was, quote, impacted by Sony's recent job cuts.
Impacted.
That's code for gutted by Sony's recent job cuts. He said, yes, the team was impacted. We lost some great developers and friends. Rest assured, we will still deliver super awesome new content and updates. By the way, I wish I could, in my business emails, use the phrase super awesome new content.
I do.
And still be
straight face. Yes, super awesome happy time. But, okay, he also says, unfortunately, the super awesome new content will have to wait. The second major update for the game, dubbed Heads or Tails, i.e. Two-Face, it stars Two-Face, that has been pushed to the server. It was pushed to the servers yesterday. It's live now, but everything subsequent to that is going to be put on hold because of these impacts on the team. And so we're going to have to wait and see what kind of delays for update number 3 happen, but they say the update number 3 is, quote, well underway, and it doesn't have a target release date, and don't hold your breath. So enjoy Two-Face while you can, right? So that may be the last update we see for a while. Staying with Sony, the best way to combat layoffs is to increase your cash flow, right? Just to improve business.
Yes.
Improve business.
Works like a charm.
Business. It works like a charm. It's funny how bringing in more money to a company reduces the number of layoffs. In fact, you may actually hire people if you're doing well. And the best way to bring in the dough is to roll out new hardware. Really, it gives you kind of a quick surge, right? A quick surge. And as we all know, the economy is doing fantastic. So people have more money than they know what to do with, right? Money is flowing out of my pockets. I don't know about you. So what do I want to do with it? I want to burn it. And how do I want to do it? I want to buy an NGP, a PSP, right? Because that's a can't miss purchase, right?
Yes.
Because the most important thing is software, and the PSP has right, awesome software, killer apps left and right. Also, it's very affordable, right?
No.
Value for your money, right? No. Well, that comes as a shock to me. It might come to a shock to Sony because Sony has suggested that the NGP will have a, quote, higher than expected price.
It's going to cost. I'll have to give up my first 3 children.
$350 range that's been thrown around. So
yeah.
What,
so. No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Peter. Go ahead.
So the higher than expected price, people already expected this to be higher than
already, like higher than
Yes.
you had already
Yes,
expected.
more than
so
a
this
house.
is higher than the expected price. Like, is this gonna be like $600 or what? What do you want? Like, what do you want from us, son? Just tell us a goddamn price already. Just make up your mind already.
I mean, you need to finish this show while I go fill out like a loan application.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do I have to give away my
credit
firstborn?
Well, Peter, good thing you're here, because here I'm from Sony, and we have the new Sony flathead screwdriver that also plays Blu-rays and doubles as a Phillips head screwdriver as well. You just take up a little bit. And it'll only cost about $650, but it plays games.
Oh, that's only higher than the expected.
I have the same one, Rob,
All
but
these bits it holds.
I got the basic version, and mine didn't come with a bit. But so I'm going to save up, and I'm going to save up and get one of those.
You would have gotten a bit.
But it would have been a proprietary bit that works with nothing else.
You have to
It comes with
so the screw will stick on the tip. See, that's what you get with Sony. You get magnets in your computers.
And then the next version, the magnets are reverse polarization, so you can't use them anymore.
So
Great game. Enjoy the PlayStation Play-Doh mold.
Oh, nice. Real nice. How come it's not black? Because black is awesome, right? Everything's got to be black and chromey.
Well, Play-Doh was black, but this is the trim.
Nice.
Like,
Nice. Okay, so an indication of how disconnected good old Sony is. So the president talked about this. Sony of America, their president, Jack Tretton, said, I think when you're buying a platform, when you're buying technology, you're hopefully buying a device that you're going to enjoy for many, many years. People are, quote, used to spending several $100s to get a portable device. Are we really like several $100s? So Trenton also denied that a price is a make or break issue with the NGP. No, price is never a make or break issue. I don't know what he's talking about. It's not to say that the price of the platform isn't in consideration, he said, but I don't think price makes or kills a platform. Sort of true, sometimes not. Something that's lousy, that's very inexpensive, it's not going to be successful. And something that's pricey will ultimately find its audience if there's enough value there.
So basically, he's sticking his fingers in his ears and humming at the Wii.
Yes.
La 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 la.
Yes.
Did not happen.
Nice. Here's one thing that is cool. Okay, so we're not going to beat up on Sony all night. So PlayStation 1 games have appeared on the Android market.
Oh, hey.
That's the good news. Bad news, they're restricted to Xperia Play, so you got to have a PlayStation phone to use them. Small victories, right? One step forward, 2 steps back.
You know, to touch back to our conversation with that and Android, you know, you said the developers were like, I can put all this out on Android, Nintendo's being snobbish, blah, blah, blah. I looked at the Android marketplace. How come there's so many Super Nintendo emulators for the Android in the marketplace?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I think they have a Genesis mod, actually.
Yeah.
There somewhere as well.
Apparently, Reggie might have had a point saying, well, there's no place in garage games and Nintendo systems because we're already putting the old games on it. Make something new, guys.
Yeah.
Or get
Well, those mods are obviously not legit ones. It's not made by Nintendo, so.
Real quick, another good one for the chat. For the people listening live, I just posted a link to, yes, this is true, Metal Gear Solid, a clothing line, branded Metal Gear Solid. So if you want your fatigues to be just like your heroes in Metal Gear Solid, check out this link that I posted. It's from Game Informer. You can look like a boss, a big boss man, in your fatigues, in your cap, in your hat. I'm actually surprised that video games haven't done more of this, where we've had like a branded line of clothing, because I don't know if you're like me, but I'm dying to get some spiked bracelets so I can rock it like Chun-Li. Just kind of walk in, walk into a meeting. Actually, I want to walk into a boardroom and put my hands down, and the spikes go like through the table, and I'll just be like stuck, I'll be stuck there for like a couple hours. Also. Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. Also, keeping with like the Street Fighter theme, some Zangief underwear. I'm just saying, with the big giant studs,
or those pleather
awesome.
pants from Final Fantasy VII.
Walk in with your Chun-Li bracelets, dude. So you're like into Danzig and stuff? Nope, Street Fighter, bro.
That's right. Nope, spinning bird kick. So today's agenda, and just start going. That'd be awesome. That would be awesome. Okay, so Spider-Man fans, listen up.
This is actually pretty awesome.
This is awesome. This is totally awesome. So Activision has announced that Spider-Man Edge of Time, which is the new upcoming Spider-Man game, will allow you to play both Classic and 2099 Spideys. So in Edge of Time, Spider-Man Classic and Spider-Man 2099 will work together to avoid personal catastrophe in a story crafted by 2099 co-creator Peter David. The game's hook is that the actions of one Spider-Man alter the timeline for the other. And that is pretty awesome. That's good stuff.
I don't think time travel works that way.
Sure it does.
Well, don't worry about that, XV.
Sure it does, XV.
Comic
Well,
book
not backwards it doesn't.
Comic book time travel, buddy. Comic book.
Spider-Man 2099 and Spider-Man have met each other. It was awesome. I read it. I loved it. I can't wait to play it in video game form.
Oh, yeah? What happened? Give us, like, the 2-minute version.
Basically, both their squeezes, like Miguel's and Peter's girlfriend/wives, were kidnapped, and they both met, and it both ended with them telling each other they had a... No, it didn't end. Both of them told each other that the other had a great costume, and that was it. That's all I remember.
Coming soon to a 360 near you.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
By Peter David.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to, like, press the A button and tell the guy in front of me, like, you know, you guys have awesome tights. Like, I really like your tights. That's going to be the best function ever. Like, hit left 2 to compliment Spidey 29. 29.
Ass cheeks rock.
Okay, a little bit of Nintendo, and then a little bit more of PSP, and then we'll jump to our topic. We're going to keep this show tight this week.
Like last week.
But, hey, that's okay. That's all right. So anyway, okay. So Nintendo is taking digs at Apple. They have called phones utilities, not entertainment devices. So Reggie, I think it's Reggie Fils-Aimé. He is the Nintendo president for America. He has said, he told CNN, we don't want to be in the phone business. We don't see that as an opportunity. Phones are utilities. Phones are not, by definition, entertainment devices. Ooh, boom, shots fired. He also said it makes no sense to enter a market when you feel you've got some sort of competitive advantage. It makes sense to enter a market when you feel you've got a competitive advantage. From Nintendo's perspective, we don't see that we have a competitive advantage in telephones. We have no desire to get into telephones, and we believe that we will earn our way into someone's pocket without having to offer that. So, don't expect...
They should put a phone into the Wii. That's
yeah,
what they should do.
You know, they should put like a corded phone onto the side of the
Yes.
Wii.
Yeah.
No, you
plug
just
it
plug
into
it.
the remote.
Yeah, exactly. You plug it into the Wiimote.
Yeah. Hang
is
on, I
so
put the bar on the wrong side to stand.
It's a landline phone, actually. It needs an RJ11 in.
Before I call you, you need my friend's code. Then I'll
It's
call
a
you.
The 20
landline
digit.
Bluetooth cordless phone.
It needs to be like Lassie, where you like connect with an operator and they have to patch you through to like the store.
But you know, with
God.
all the
Like
difficulties, it'll be really fun because you're like, well, I'm making a call. Oh, look, Mario's running across the screen.
Wouldn't it be awesome if you could play a Hello Girl as well and patch yourself? Be like,
Well, yeah, see,
I want to
what it
call
would be.
this.
It'd be a mini game
Sounds-
with Mii's that would work as the operator.
Exactly. You're putting the plug into their face.
Just like your
In your
mom.
face.
Oh.
Okay, so real
Just
quickly,
kidding, accidentally creepy.
real quickly. Okay, so if you think the 3DS is hot, it is. But here's a surprising stat for you: it was actually outsold by the PSP in Japan for all the ragging we do on the PSP. Yes. So last week,
That is total suck.
Score.
Oh,
So the score: PSP 51,000, 3DS 50,000. So yes, the PSP does have its fans. We need to have a talk with these 51,000 people. That's all I'm
well,
going to say.
it looked like there's a mitigating circumstance, though.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I mean, it was Final Fantasy release week. So Final Fantasy IV, the complete collection, came out that week, which, surely drove PSP sales.
So they
But
pulled
still,
a
the
Final
3DS is brand new and white hot.
They did pulled a Final Fantasy 8, like when the Final Fantasy was pitted against the release of the Dreamcast back in September of '99.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
that was, not a bad move.
It speaks volumes to Sony because it's like, hey, Sony, Nintendo's coming out with another handheld that's going to sell more than yours. What are you going to do? Well, we decided to take the time to actually release a game. And it's going to be a game people want. It's going to be a game people want.
It's a game people already have. We just put a new wrapper on it.
But it's not going to be a game that's like on the other system. So it's going. Yes, it is. Shut up. Get back to work on those PSP pliers. Got to have that thing playing MP3 by Christmas.
So now's the time in our show, our beautiful show, where we sink our teeth into a topic. And this week we're going to talk about beat 'em ups. From the standpoint of where are the beat 'em ups? What happened to the beat 'em ups? It's like they've gone the way of the dodo. And to set this up, a cool story came out this week about a Streets of Rage fan remake. A fan remake that's been almost 9 years in the making. It started in, 2003 by some very devoted fans who wanted a new Streets of Rage game. And they got the hint from Sega that this is not happening anytime soon. And, of course, 8 years later, it hasn't happened. But what has happened is their remake, which is a gigantic love letter to the first 3 Streets of Rage games. So it is free. It is online. It was done by Spanish development team Bomber Games. It's without a doubt one of the most impressive fan games you will ever see. It, again, took 8 years, and it looks like it.
How much kangaroo is there?
There's plenty of kangaroo. Yes! So Rob, there is every enemy that has ever spotted on a Streets of Rage game, plus some that are based on box art and other sources. So completely fan wankage. The brawler genre, of course, as we know, has undergone a decline, to say the least, an extinction. The last games that probably qualify, as this genre are, I would say, probably Bayonetta, Devil May Cry, something like that. Probably a few games here or there on the PSN and Xbox Live.
God of War.
Just like, here and there, basically remakes, polishes, like a polishing of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle beat 'em ups, things like that. Yeah. That's the best you're going to get these days.
God of War is totally a beat 'em up.
Dude, which one?
God of War.
God of War is a beat 'em up.
I think with all the other elements added in is what takes it away from that distinction completely.
Yeah, I don't think in a true sense, right?
I don't know. Playing it
we remembered it to be back then.
I'm not punching garbage cans and hams are coming out.
Yeah. Although there was a TMNT game based on the 2003 cartoon that was for the Wii. That was actually that was a beat 'em up. Four player beat 'em up. It's pretty sweet.
So what do we think has happened? Do we think the beat 'em up has just kind of like evolved into other genres, or it's just not something kids like to do these days? It just got beat out by other genres.
Beat 'em ups weren't sustainable. The whole point of the beat 'em up, it was a way to show off huge sprites in games, and that's not really entertaining anymore. People they don't need to see big sprites on the screen anymore because people don't want to see sprites at all.
Yeah, I kind of think it's the same problem as Sonic games have, which is it's not something that translates into the modern 3D technology at all well.
Well, you also put in the market differences. Most of your beat-em-ups were arcade games that got ported, and the console-only ports were pretty much takeoffs of, like, those Jalico games that were really similar to Final Fight and stuff. It's like, hey, where's the arcades? Well, I'm not walking by something, putting 50 cents in and maybe spending 5 minutes on it. I'm taking this home, and I beat it, now what? So I think it's just the way you play games has changed enough so that they've had to do things like God of War and stuff and add puzzle elements and platforming elements and, missions, and you gotta find the clues as well, because it's like simply, hey, they're spending $50 on this, and it's not as cool to take something home from the arcade anymore.
Yeah, my favorite beat 'em up of all time, believe it or not, is The Punisher by Capcom. Yes. Love that game, love it.
Great game.
But you know what? is it would I spend $50? I would spend $50 on that, but is the average gamer going to spend $50 for today for what you get out of that game? Like 6 levels? No.
Did the average gamer spend $50 on it when it got released for the Sega Genesis?
No.
Because I don't think it sold very well even then.
No.
I think back in the 90s when these beat 'em ups were very prominent, they kind of flooded the market, and a lot of them were, not very good. And I think nowadays like you were saying, the beat 'em up, it's people say, hey, I just spent $50 or $60 on this game, and I just beat it like in 2 hours or less. And there is a replay value, but a lot of people don't feel that is worth it. But I also think that it has the beat 'em ups because of that have changed their distribution channels. So instead of
now they're included in Tekken. They just take the Tekken. They just take the Tekken 3D models.
Bad, I guess.
No, they're crap.
It's kind of a fun novelty.
No, I mean now they just basically take a fighting game and shoehorn a beat 'em up into it, and that's about it.
Well, what I mean is that they've gone the arcade route, the online, Xbox Live Arcade. Just there are 2 games that come to mind that I actually own on my Xbox, which is Scott Pilgrim, which is a great beat 'em up, as well as Castle Crashers, which started out on I think Newgrounds or something like that, and then it eventually evolved its way into an Xbox Live Arcade game, and it is a great beat 'em up game. You go around, you literally just go around with a friend and you just start slashing people. It's like it's like 10. It's great.
It sounds like Saturday night.
Yeah, it's like $10. It's like $10, and it's actually a pretty decent long game that you can play.
I'm willing to wager that developers are kind of poking their toes back into it, because here was Street Fighter 4 and the fighting genre really taking off again. They're like, okay, and the 2D platformers taking off again with New Super Mario and Mega Man 9. They're like, really say, okay, what can we, now that the time's passed, can we bring back out and might work again? Because here, you're talking about the download games, which they don't really lose as much as they would for a physical product, to see how it works. And then you got like River City Ransom 2 coming out this summer.
Yes. And that Watchmen game came out. That was a beat 'em up, and that came out on the Xbox 360. That was like a 3D beat 'em up. Wasn't that great, but it was a 3D beat 'em up.
Yeah, they're dipping their toes in, because it's like, okay, let's see those come out, and is it working? Is it working? Okay, put a couple million into Double Dragon 360.
And I think that's probably one of the things, is like the resources, right? So.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just not a whole lot of resources poured into it. Certainly, like, 0 marketing dollars are put into it.
Yeah.
So that also makes it seem like they've faded from our consciousness.
Yeah.
Well, you put into thought, though, with the way the gaming world works now, you put an online component in there and like make your own levels type situation, it would probably really take off again. Like, look at the level I made. You beat up crack whores. I call it Final Fight meets bad guys.
Nice.
Well, what beat them up where you're not
Nice.
fighting crackheads? Come on.
I feel like I should know this. Okay, so Poison from Final Fight, she was like a dude, right? Like, isn't that canon?
Yeah, because what was it? American arcade owners were so good about big on the idea of punching girls, so they officially changed transvestite, because like, punching girls, no. Punching transgender people is okay.
Yes. Very nice. Very nice. See, that's why you listen to New Soundwave, right? To get that kind of trivia, which you can share with your friends when you go to school tomorrow. You just say, yes, hey, did you know Poison was a dude? Stop lusting after her.
Yes.
It's creepy.
Poison was
It's
a
creepy.
dude?
Yep. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Also, okay, and also, let me just add, with that in mind, there's still like a huge like cult following and contingent to get her, him, whatever, Poison, into like whatever Street Fighter game is out at the day of the day. So Street Fighter 4, there's a huge contingent to get her into that game. There's like petitions to get her into that game. Marvel vs. Capcom 3, there are petitions to get her into that game. So someday you two can play as Poison.
Let's add a little bit more funny trivia to this, because still companies were not Capcom of America was not so big on putting a transvestite in a video game that would be sold at Sears and people would buy their kids for Christmas. They first it became a girl, changed to a guy dressed as a girl, changed to just a guy who looks like Sid Vicious.
Nice.
So
a very shapely guy, I guess.
They completely made a brand new sprite for the Super NES version. Like, I think they just call him Sid, and it was like a complete backward transgression. It was like, good old Ivy started off as a woman. Now, no, wait. If you want a guy, now he's a girl.
Yeah.
Nice. What a tortured character. Who would have wished that on any character?
Well, you're not going to have a good life if you're going to work with a guy named
at this
Dan.
point.
It's like, what do you do for a living? I'm a transvestite, and I beat up people with a whip, and I work for a dude named Damn. What do you do? I work at Walmart. Your life's worse than mine, actually. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry you had to go through that.
Oh, nice. Okay, well, on this note, that is New Soundwave number 74. As you can tell, the podcast of record for gay, lesbian, transgendered, and questioning audiences, in addition to our general audience. We love everybody, even you, Poison, whoever you are. Anyway, so yes, that does it for the show this week. Once again, happy birthday to Sonic. He turns 20. Also, get out and vote. artofvideogames.org. Vote for your favorite piece of art that also doubles as video game. Vote for E.T., please. Let's get him in the game. Please, for the guy. Belongs in there. Yes, all 8 pixels of E.T. Yes, they belong in the Smithsonian. Anyway, yes, next week, we tune in, same time. Actually, a little bit earlier time, same day, and we will bring you more live hot video game discussions. By the way, do tune in to our other sister shows. Check them out on tfradio.net. RFC, which is recorded right before this show. New Soundwave, of course. Outside the Cage. RFC Throwback occasionally. Superhero Time, Fanboy Versus. Even Bitmapped 2099, one of our newest podcasts, our youngest podcast, and Get the Skinny, our eternal struggle.
One of our most absent podcasts.
Slim down, streamline, downside.
That's starting back up here within the next month.
Yeah, sure.
I am being forced.
Ryan, I can do a guest segment if you want, because I'm back on supplements. I'm hyped up and crazy.
What are you taking?
I'm on a metabolism booster. I'm on a multivitamin. I'm on creatine. This may be my last show. I'll be back. If I do come back, there's also a high probability I'll have purple skin.
Or Johnny Hart explodes on camera.
No, it'll go blue and you'll be a Smurf.
I'll make a video.
Let's do it.
I'll make videos for Get the Skinny because I discovered I have a Chuck Norris Total Gym in my garage.
You do?
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes, you pull that out.
Boys! I'll do my kung fu.
That'll be awesome. Anyway, okay, so yes, New Soundwave. God bless you for listening. We will see you next week. Peace out.
Awesome. Okay, fantastic.
Get off my yard! Did that make
I was thinking about something.